Okay, today we are looking at cash discount. And of course, the payment terms, those are terms to give incentive for payment, right? So here is a typical invoice, and ABC Electronics is the vendor or the company sending the invoice to Mr. Paul Smith of JNC Electronics. All right, so these callouts are identifying the various parts. There is seller, there is buyer. There is the invoice date, 21st of December, 2019. And of course, customer ID, and these are the payment terms or terms. Okay, 3, 10, and 30. You will find out what those mean very shortly. And of course, we have the invoice amount, $8,421. So net price after trade discount, which we just did. So this is the price after the trade discount. And then add the HST, and there comes the total amount due, $9,515.73. All right, so let's go on. This explains those terms that you saw. And now you will see that this here, these R's are a little bit misplaced, but this 3 is the discount percent, and 10 is the number of days, meaning if it's paid 10 days after receiving the invoice. An N refers to net price. Net price means no discount, but it shows that it says credit period is 30 days, so the invoice has to be paid 30 days in 30 days, right? So there we are. Okay, now let's look at what these discounts. Now there is a good picture of cash discount 4/5, 2/15. There is showing 2% discount if it's paid in 15 days, all right? And net for 30, and this would be 4% discount if paid within 5 days. Now there are different types of dating that considered or allowed, but we will only be focusing on this ordinary dating. Start counting the days in the discount period from the date on the invoice. Okay, there's end of month. That starts counting the days in the discount period from the end of the month of the date on the invoice, not in the scope of this course, so this will not be done here. And of course, receipt of goods. Start counting the number of days in the discount period from the date the goods are received instead of the invoice date, not in the scope of this course also. All right, so those are the two, or well, the three different types, but we'll only be considering the ordinary dating. All right. Okay, so let's go back to where we were here, and that is what you have there. There's a question there with a video, and here you have a question in here. The purchasing department of a company received an invoice of $42,600. The invoice was dated August the 20th, 2020, and had the following payment terms. 2% discount if paid within 7 days. Now you can see here from August the 20th to the 27th, that is 7 days, all right? And 1.5 discount, 1.5% discount if paid within 30 days from the date of the invoice. Now it means you passed day number 7. So this would be from day number 8 to day number 30. So if you're counting here, August the 20th, remember August has 31 days, so 20 to 31 would be what? 11 days. We go 31 minus 20 gives us 11 days. All right, but we have to get to 30, so we have to take 30 and we subtract 11, correct? We're into the new month of September, and there is September the 19th. So how many days have passed? 30 days have passed. We passed 7 when we went from August 20th to August the 27th. Then we passed 30 days when we got to September the 19th. So now we have 15 more days. Now September only has 30 days. So 30 minus 19 puts us 11 days. So 4 days are left over, and that is the 5. We end up at October the 4th for day number 45 after the date of the invoice of August the 20th, 2020. All right, so there we are. So what amount does the company have to pay to settle invoice on the following days of 2020? Well, if you if you pay on August 2020, 25th, August the 25th of that year of 2020, you will be eligible for a 2% discount. If you pay on September the 18th, you will be right in here, so you'll be eligible for a 1.5% discount. And then if you pay it on September the 30th, you will be eligible for no discount. That is what N means, net or no discount. All right, so those are different scenarios that exist, and this shows very nicely where everything goes. And then it gives us that information of how to determine the discount and how much will be paid. Okay, so let's go to a question from the quiz. Let's look at this question here. Kelly receives an invoice from Home Hardware dated September the 2nd, 2016 for $1,150. And these are the terms here. 7% if paid within 9 days, 2% if paid after 9 days, but paid within 15 days from the date of the invoice. And then no discount after the 15th day to the 29th day, but the invoice must be paid on the 29th day after September the 2nd. Okay, so this invoice, now we're focused on, it was paid on September the 27th, 2016. Right, so how many days were there between the date of the invoice and when the invoice was paid? Okay, so let us, maybe it would be best for us to just copy this and place it into a Word document. And there we are. So this is, I guess that was a little stray character. I think we have it all there. All right, so that is the date of the invoice, correct? The date of the invoice is September the 2nd, 2016. So date of, or date on the invoice, whichever way you like it, date of the invoice was September the 2nd to 2016. All right. So the date that it was paid, invoice was paid on September the 27th, 2016. So date invoice was paid was September the 27th, 2016. Or we could say, just say date invoice paid, maybe just to get rid of too many was or repetitions in there. All right, so the number of days, how many days were there between the date of the invoice and when the invoice was paid? So the number of days, if you take the September the 27th, 2016, and then we subtract September the 2nd, 2016, That's equal to how many days? Well, 27 minus 2, that's equal to what? 25 days. All right, so this is the amount. 25 days occurred between the date of the invoice and when the invoice was paid. So in here, we can put in our 25. Now, how much was the amount of the discount? All right, so let's go and see what we can do with that bit of information. All right, how much was the amount of the discount? So this is the display of the discount, correct? So let's copy them. Let's paste them down here, maybe tab in, and then we can have that. So this means maybe we give them some space and maybe lots more space so we can see properly, and we can put in whatever information we need. All right, so I think that's enough space. And so we know by now that 7 means 7% what? Discount, right? 7%, and then the next number means 9 days, right? 9 days, right? So then we go over here and we get 2%, well, 15 days, all right? If we just read it as it stands, and then this would be net 29 days, right? So really we have 3 sections, as you can see. First, there are 9 days, then there's 15 days, or you can say, we can put in here, if you wish, you have 9 days, all right, from the date of the invoice, that is. And then here would go from 10 to 15, 10 to 15 days, correct? And then this one really goes from 16 days to, maybe if you put the word 2, it might be better. And we put that, maybe you might mistake it for being minus, so that doesn't go very well in there. There we are. All right, so those are the discounts. So how many days? Well, we have 25 days. So we've passed 15. We are in this one here. So it's between, well, we can say that, we can say 25 days is larger or is past. We can say past. All right, it's past 15 days, but less than 29 days. Or we could say instead of less than, we could say before, right? Or before 29 days. So it is right in here. So 25 lies between 16 and 29. So what does that mean? Yes, that means it's net. So there is no discount. Okay, so no discount. All right, we can put it in caps if you wish. No discount. All right, or you could say net price. Okay, or net amount, I should say. That might be a better term to use, the net amount on the invoice. Right, so there's no discount. So let's go back and we put in here, we must put in a number, and that number would be 0 to the nearest tenth. Sorry, there's no discount, so the amount of the discount is 0. So you can put 0.00 if you wish, and we fulfill the requirement to the nearest tenth. All right, so the amount paid, well, the amount paid would be this amount right there on the invoice, so $1,150. And that should be the correct answers. And there we are, they are correct, and all is well. Okay, so that is one kind of a question. And you see, you're working with a number of days, right? So 25 days, you can see it lies between 15 and 29. So it's past 15, 16 to 29. That range will result in no discount. All right? Okay. Next question. Let's look at another one. All right, now we have Ellie receives an invoice from Home and Farm Supply dated September the 2nd, 2019 for $1,310 with terms 7/9, 2/15, and /31. This invoice was paid on September the 17th, 2019. How many days were there between the date of the invoice and when the invoice was paid? All right, so let us go and have a look at it and see, do one part at a time, and hopefully that will work out the best way. So maybe a new page, turn over a new page, and we paste the question, and there we are. So now we can get to work with what is there. Now, so the date of the invoice or the date of the invoice, you could your date on the invoice, whichever is better for you. Date on the invoice, maybe use colons, might be easier, then maybe it looks a bit more business-like, probably September the 2nd, 2019. All right, so date, invoice, paid, okay, was what? Well, it was September the 17th, 2019, right here. So invoice was paid on this date. If you wish, you could probably put some highlighting, might be better for us. And it was dated on September the 2nd, 2019, right? Yeah, so there we are. So the days between the dates or days between these two dates, September the 2nd and September 9th, 17th, sorry, would be how much? Well, 15 days because you have, so the days, we could say days between dates, all right? The date would be, we go days between dates, right? So we take the same month, so we could go 17 minus 2, which is equal to 15 days, all right? So 15 days would be the answer for this part here. And we can highlight it if we wish. We could go back to the question now and put in 15 days. All right, so what does that do? Well, as you can see, if you look here and you look up here, these three numbers, you should get a 2% because it's 15 days after the date of the invoice. All right, you made it in for 2% discount. So if maybe we should copy these first. That's the terms. All right, we know what they mean now. Let's put them down here. All right, and then we can say 7% and 9 days. Then we can go at 2%, 15 days. All right, we understand that is after the date of the invoice. So N is net 31 days, means the invoice must be paid 31 days after September the 2nd. Okay, so we have 15 days up there. So 15 days should get a 2% discount. Let's use a different color maybe. All right, so what is the next part of the question? Let's go. How much was the amount of the discount? All right, so the amount of the discount, let's come in here and paste it. How much was the amount of the discount? So the discount is equal to 2% of the invoice amount, which is $1,310, as it shows up right up here, $1,310. All right, so that's the invoice amount. So 2% of that would be equal to what? Well, we can go 1310 and then multiply by 2 and click on percent right here. That should convert 2% to a decimal. We multiply and the answer is $26.20. So this is the amount of the discount. All right, so let's highlight it in green. We go back and we enter the amount, $26.20. In the last part of the question, how much was paid? All right, so now we go to the end, the last bit of the question, and we paste that in, how much was paid. So the amount paid will be equal to what? The amount on the invoice, which is $1,310 minus the $26.20. All right, so those are the two numbers. This amount right here is the amount of the invoice, correct? The amount on the invoice was right up here, $1,310. And the discount, as was computed, because it was paid within 15 days, it was eligible for a 2% discount, which amounted to $26.20. And if we subtract those two numbers, we will get the answer. Now we have the 2620. If we wish, we could just make it negative, and then we can just add 1310, and that gives us the amount of $1,283.80. So hopefully this is correct. I don't have any reason to question it, but we will find out when we enter the value in the answer, 1283.80. Now, these answers should all be positive, so round to the nearest cent, and we submit, and as you can see, it is correct. Okay, so that is another question where there is a discount, but the discount is the 2%. So you have to find out first how many days, then where does it fall in these terms. And then we can identify if there is a discount, how much would be the discount, or if there will be no discount. All right, let's look at another question now. Lamont receives an invoice from Staples dated June the 2nd, 2018 for $990 with terms 4/9, 3/18, 10/29. This invoice was paid on June the 7th, 2018. How many days were there between the date of the invoice and when the invoice was paid? All right, so let's go through that. And we will do what we did before. We can go to a new page. So we start afresh and we can see this one now. Okay, so let's delete this gray character there. And there we are. So date of the invoice. So let's dated June the 2nd, 2018. So let's highlight that one first. And the terms you have there, and it was paid on June the 7th, 2018. All right, so we have the payment date and we have the invoice date and the payment date. All right, that's the invoice amount there, and these are the terms right in here. So maybe we should highlight those also while we're doing highlighting. Let's put that, and then this, of course, we should also give it some highlighting. If we wish, we could give it a different color just to distinguish it. Okay, so date, that was very nice. Let's go back to where we were. So date, or we could say the invoice date, whichever way we like to do it. We can just say invoice date was how much, was what? Well, it was June the 2nd, June 2nd, 2018. All right. And we could say payment date if we wish, however way we like to say it. You could say it in many different ways. This was June the 7th, 2018. So we want the days between dates would be what? Well, it'll be 7 minus 2, which would give us 5 days. All right, so that's one answer that we need. That's the first answer. How many days? So there we are. If we wish, we could have brought this down maybe separated so it gets it's very distinct. We can see it very distinctly. All right, so that answer was 5 days. So how much was the amount of the discount? All right, so let's go and find that out. So the amount, if it's 5 days, now we have terms, right? What are these terms? Well, they're right here. We can copy them or we could just do our own way of doing it. The 4%, and that would be 9 days, right? Next one would be 3%, 18 days. And then the last one would be net, all right, net, and that is 29 days. Okay, so 5 days is definitely less than 9 days. So it's within the 9 days from the date of the invoice. So how much would be the discount? So the discount is a 4% discount. Okay, so the amount of the discount would be, so the amount, how much was the amount of the discount? That's what we are looking at, all right? Amount of discount would be equal to 4% of, so we could say we're multiplying by, or if you like parentheses, 4% of the invoice, which was $990 right up here. Okay, $990. So if you wish, we could use turquoise maybe. And there we are, 990. And with that, that gives us an amount. So like I showed you before, you could put 990 and then multiply by 4, but don't forget to click on percent. So it becomes 0.04. Or you could convert it yourself and put 0.04 times 990 or 990 times 0.04. And that is equal to $39.60. All right, so that is the amount of the discount. So that is another answer. We have $39.60, and we go back and we enter it for the amount of the discount. So how much was paid? Well, how much was paid? It would be the invoice amount minus the discount. All right, so let's go down here. We paste that in there. So the amount paid would be equal to what? The invoice amount, which is 990. So the invoice amount minus the discount. All right, and that is equal to 990 minus 39.60, which is equal to, so 39.60, like I said, you can make it negative and then add 990. That gives us 950.40. Okay, so the answer is 950.40, or we could say, put it all together nicely and say the amount paid was equal to 950.40, and that should be the correct answer. Okay, so 950.40, we go back to the question and we go 950.40 and we submit. And there we are, all is correct. All right, so there you go. That is how they're done. You find the number of days first, And then you go and calculate the amount of the discount, and then you find the amount paid. That is how it's done. Now we can try some more if you wish. We can go back in here. I guess we did question number 5. All right, so there you are. Emmanuel receives an invoice from MTZ Equipment and Storage dated May the 1st, 2018 for $740, and these are the terms. So 7% if paid in 4 days, 1% if paid after 4 days, but within 17 days from the date of the invoice. Remember, these dates are from the date of the invoice of May the 1st. And it's net after 17 days, but must be paid within 30 days. So the invoice was paid on May the 15th, 2018. So how many days were there between the date of the invoice and when the invoice was paid? All right, so we take the 15 and we subtract 1. All right, 15 minus 1 gives us 14. So it's 14 days. All right, so where does 14 put us? Well, 14 is past 4, for sure. This is the number of days. It's past 4, but looks like it's less than 17, correct? Yeah. 14 is before 17. So the eligibility for discount, the amount or the percentage is 1%. So 1% of $740. So we'll go 740 and multiply by 1, click on percent, and there it is, the amount. Would be $7.40. That is the discount. So how much was paid? Well, how much was paid? You have to change this, make this negative, and add the amount of the invoice, which was $740. So we're adding 740, and that gives us 732.60. So 732.60. And we submit the question, and there we are, and it is correct. All right, so let's do one more. So Lucas receives an invoice from Home Hardware dated October the 5th, 2016 for $1,480 with terms 4% if paid within 7 days from the date of the invoice, 2% discount if paid after 7 days, but within 16 days from the date of the invoice, and net if it's paid after 16 days, but it must be paid within 29 days from the date of the invoice. Now, so how many days were there between the date of the invoice and when the invoice was paid? So the date of the invoice was October the 5th, 2016, and it was paid on October the 24th, 2016. So we go 24 minus 5, and that gives us but 19 days. All right, so 19 days. Now, if you look up here, 19 is definitely past 16, but it had to be paid before 29 days. So what does that mean? We're past this 2% discount, so it's net. And net means 0 discount, 0.00. How much was paid? Well, the amount that was paid would be the amount on the invoice, which is $1,480. All right, so they waited too long. Lucas waited a bit too long and missed all the discounts, right? 7 days went by, then 16 days went by, and on the 19th day, Lucas paid the invoice, so Lucas had to pay $1,480. Let us submit, and it is correct. And that will be the end for today. Let's stop the recording. Are finished.